Welcome, everybody, to episode 50 of the effing title. And this week, we present to you Fedge. That's it. That's what we're presenting.
The only Fedge Jr.
I mean, it says Jeff on the screen, but that's just because
we messed up.
I don't have one that just says Fedge. The only one I have says Jeff just by itself.
We done messed up, Ron.
It's funny because all of the ones that I have, all of the different guest titles that I have, is you, Fedge, and someone else, but the one only by yourself is just Jeff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we got Fedge. That's it. That's what we have.
Well,
that's what we're doing.
Alive and well, so that's good. Can't complain.
Nothing else. That's all it is. It's just Fedge. Fedge is just here. That's the whole podcast. Now, this week
here, I'll talk whatever you guys want to do.
This week we will be talking about the NFL Divisional round that just happened and the conference round that is about to happen this weekend. So let's quickly look at last week's things. Don't pay any attention to the fact that it says divisional picks. I was an idiot and I wrote divisional picks. Oh no, divisional picks does make sense. Never mind. Pay attention to the fact that it says divisional picks. I was looking at it earlier and I'm like, this is the conference round. Why did it say divisional? So Fedge and Scratchy both tied at 3-1 with a +1 with the locks. I went 2-2 with a +1 with the lock. Divisional rounds, because there was only 4 games, we might as well just talk about each and every freaking game, right?
Yeah, why not?
Might as well.
Why not?
All right, so let's open this thing up. Baltimore and Buffalo. Good one to talk about. Considering that we are
talking about that one, dude. That's not the first game that happened.
That's the first one that I have written here. So, first one that happened then: Rams and Packers.
I just want to give a quick overlay of what my thoughts this weekend. It sucks that there was so many injuries in these final four games, leading into the championships. It just, you hate to see it because you want to see obviously teams at full strength moving forward, especially when you're heading into these important games. Obviously, once we talk about all these games, we can talk about specific injuries in general. But yeah, it kind of bums you out. But yeah, let's start with this Packers game.
All right, let's start the Packers Rams game. A little bit more lopsided than I thought it was going to be. I felt like I thought the Pack would win. I thought it was going to be tough isn't the right word, but I thought it was going to be an interesting win for them. But man, they're not fucking around.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of agree with you on that. I didn't think the Rams were going to do a whole lot of offense. I mean, their offense is badly beat up, starting with Jared Goff. I mean, with that thumb, you could tell he didn't feel right when they played the Seahawks, and they still squeaked out a win there. They didn't even want him to play the Seahawks, obviously, why Wolford started the game. I mean, just the Packers, I believe they led the league in points this year, points per game. I mean, you're not going to be able to put up with that offense if you don't even have your starting quarterback at full health.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they were decimated with injuries. That's not an excuse. I mean, everyone deals with it, but at the quarterback position, as potentially the Chiefs could find out this week, that's a tough thing to swallow. You know what I mean? But Aaron Rodgers is playing like the MVP. He will be the MVP. If he's not the MVP, this league has an issue.
Exactly. The one thing that I just thought was interesting is going into this game, right? The Rams had the number 1 defense in the league. Am I correct with that? So they had the number 1 defense.
I believe so, yep.
They had no sacks. They had 1 TFL. They had 4 pass deflections. And that was it. They didn't they didn't really do a whole lot. I at least thought that they would be able to slow Rodgers down to an extent. And I mean, I guess you could say 296, 2 touchdowns, and 23 for 36. If that's slowing him down with the number 1 defense, what the fuck chance do people have right now? It's like.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with this game is honestly it came down to the run game. I mean, it's a lot easier to do everything if you can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are kind of feeling that. I mean, because they just abandon the run left and right. They don't care. They just drop back and pass the ball. But I mean, it's working for them. But yeah, I mean, the Pack, what did they run for? 180 yards or something?
Something like that.
I think it was 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's just.
Well, I mean,
when you allow that type of yardage on the ground, let alone the number 1 defense allowing that yardage, you're going to be in for a long day.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things as well. They have a very nice core of running backs there, because I mean, you normally talk about, everyone normally talks about Aaron Jones, right? Jones is the dude,
Mm-hmm.
but you never really hear like Jamal Williams and AJ Dillon are both dudes too, and I mean, Jones had 99, Williams had 65, Dillon had 27.
Yeah, but they all average like great yards.
Oh
They
yeah, I
all
mean that
averaged over
averaged
5, wasn't it? Like it's
7.1,
crazy.
5.4, and 4.5. Like that's
Yeah,
fucking
like that's
wild.
that's crazy. It's wild, absolutely wild.
But,
Yeah, I agree. But it's the more consistent team throughout the year, and I think we'll kind of find. I'm gonna say outside of one game this year, the more consistent team won the games this and
yes.
that's honestly, I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see the people that reap the benefits, and realistically, these playoffs should just be a formality that the best team should win. I mean, the best teams of the regular season should win. Obviously, you want to have playoff format and give the teams a chance, but you like to see it that it actually coming through that the best teams are in the regular season and the best teams in the postseason, and hopefully one of them gets knocked off this weekend. But that's another.
I mean, we're fine out of that.
Another. Another talk for another day, but
all right, so let me move on to the Ravens at Bills. This game was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be an old school kind of fist fight, and whichever team made the least mistakes would win.
I agree. Yes. Yep. I mean, it was a tough game all around. As far as weather-wise, especially being the wind. I mean, Justin Tucker missed two field goals early on in the game. First time he's ever done that in a postseason game, let alone I think he doubled his total that he's missed over his 9-year career. The Bills missed two field goals as well. One beginning, one end of game, still weather affecting, but you saw multiple shots deep get missed because of of the weather, of the wind taking advantage of it. But this game, honestly, it came down to, and I think we were talking about it, Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott came in with a phenomenal game plan to slow down Lamar Jackson and that offense, and they, I'm going to say, executed to perfection.
Oh yeah.
Minus that first drive, I mean, they let it run all over it, and then I mean, they clamped it down. They had a 4th and 1 stop on the opening drive that didn't end up counting because AJ Klein doesn't know where the line of scrimmage is.
Yeah.
But then they end up, the football gods were with them, and Justin Tucker missed a field goal. And
Exactly.
Obviously, we saw the surprise on his face as well as probably everyone else's face when he missed that one. So it's just, like I said, it came down to perfect game plan. This is the kind of football you'll see. I mean, these three, I'm going to say, I'm not going to count Cleveland quite yet, but the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs in the AFC, I think, are set up really well for future, and you'll see those teams back here in this position to get to the AFC Championship for years to come. I mean, they got it built right, and young quarterbacks, it's
and like we were talking about, it's like allegedly Frazier and Sean McDermott had a great defense against the Baltimore rush attack, which was literally just fuck the guy in front of you, get behind him, because Baltimore does a lot of stuff, a lot of pulling linemen. They motion on almost every single fucking play. They're the highest motion team in the NFL, if I remember correctly. And so as soon as you get anyone behind the line of scrimmage, or even get a lineman pushed back even a little bit, or cause a pile up, that causes problems for the run game. And you saw it happen immediately after the first drive. I mean,
get in the backfield and
fuck shit up. And then it was one of those things where and we had talked about it as well, where like how would Baltimore react, or how would Baltimore play against the Bills' offense? And honestly, I think they did probably one of the best jobs that anyone's done this season against you guys offensively.
For sure.
You look at the numbers, and it doesn't seem like it, right? Josh Allen, 23 for 37, 206 and a touchdown. Diggs had 8 catches for 106. John Brown has 8 catches for 62. But then, this is the thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to look at, is if you look behind that, though, you have Knox, 2 catches for 18. Singletary, 3 catches for 12. McKenzie, 2 catches for 8. And then Beasley and Davis had no catches. So literally, all of the yardage came off of 2 guys. And like I said, they were going to man you guys up, and it's just going to be one of those things where we just say, fuck you, we're better. And there was times where it was true, and then there was times where it wasn't true, and we saw that. But no, overall, like I said, it was a fist fight. It was going to come down to who made the most mistakes. Baltimore had 2 missed field goals, had a shit ton of penalties. Lamar threw the interception in the third quarter. Hard to come back after doing those things. So now we move on to Chiefs at Browns. Browns at Chiefs.
Yeah, this
was
obviously one of the most unfortunate games, just in general, with the fact that it looked like the Browns were even in this game. But the Chiefs are, I feel like, toying with them for most of the time, and then, in my personal opinion, you have a selfish play by Patrick Mahomes that gets him injured. I never like to see my quarterbacks take those plays. He got away with it, stepping inside on his touchdown run earlier in the game, and I think he kind of got cute trying to do it again. You pitch that ball. You pitch the ball 99 out of 100 times. 100 out of 100. I don't care. You pitch the ball. You're running the speed option. Pitch the ball. Let your guy get to the edge. Give it to your running back. Let him do what it is. And unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes went down with an injury. It's still up in the air with what's going to go on this weekend. There's really no word on what exactly is going to happen. So it's unfortunate. Like I said, you don't like to see those injuries, but it's the Browns. I mean, give them credit. They did fight back. Baker Mayfield had a huge interception to start the second half, which luckily the Chiefs ended up holding the Browns ended up holding for 3 points. Also, the Browns had a big mess up with holding on the ball and going in for a score, and that ended up ultimately being the difference of the game. If that would have gone in, I mean, it's a completely different game. They could have brought things back, but on the same side of things, Chad Henne actually looked quite well off the bench. Besides his one, just toss it up to whoever's in the end zone and someone's going to come down with it. Well, fortunately, the defender came down with it. But, I mean, you just see, honestly, anything. I didn't think I saw anything different from the Chiefs than what I was expecting, minus the fact that I was not expecting Darrell Williams to get the bulk of the carries. I thought they would go, they would go a little bit more of a Lev Bell approach on that. But no, they went with Williams as their lead back, and I mean he played well.
He did
almost 80 yards a carry, or 80 yards total, and I think he had 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Can't ask for more than that from your running back. But overall, good game. I still not sold on the Browns. I think if Mahomes stays healthy, this would have been a blowout. It's just what I think. But what do I know?
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of the same. I mean, you look at it, and it's after one, it's 6-3. After at halftime, it's 19-3. They put up 14 in the last 2 quarters. So, I don't remember when Mahomes got hurt, mind you. Was it midway through the third?
Yeah, that's what I want to say it was. Right,
so let's say that he equals that, right? Still being in there. That's another 14 points that the Chiefs put up. It's not this is one of those games where the star gets injured, the backup comes in and does what he needs to do. And we've talked about this before. A good backup needs to get in and game manage you to the win. That's what I've always thought of.
Halfway through the third is when he got injured.
Yes. Okay. So so halfway through the third. So you, in my opinion,
leading them on the field goal drive and that drive too.
Yeah,
no less.
So
Brandon off the bench and bringing him in. But
so I mean, Henne did exactly what he needed to, and the Chiefs feel okay with him doing things right now. But I mean, I kind of.
But he's no Mahomes. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then it's one of those things, right? So we had the talk last week. Top 5 wide receivers, right, in the league. Right, I said Landry in there because I think Landry is a good receiver. I think Landry has what it takes to be a good receiver. Now that he has he had 7 catches for 20 yards with 1 touchdown. That's fucking how.
That's not the definition of a good receiver.
I'm sorry, but Rashard Higgins getting 5 for 88 or Njoku 4 for 59. The fact that Jarvis Landry, who in my opinion is arguably top 10 in the league. It is 7 catches for 20 yards.
Yeah, I mean that could be a number of things. I mean it's just
I mean it could be. I mean,
but obviously they gave him the chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To put it into example, right? Tyreek Hill, 8 catches, 110 yards. On 10 targets. The exact Travis Kelce, 8 catches, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 targets. Landry had 10 targets as well. He had 7 catches for 20 yards. Like it's no. And I said it because we were playing Apex while the game was going on as well. Me, Rob, and Comfy Mike, and I said the Browns look their best when they are dominating the run game and they can play action off of it. They were doing decent in the run game, and from what it seems like, they weren't able to play action off of it a whole lot or take advantage of most things, But as we said, as of right now, better team has won. Which leads us to the final game of last weekend, which is Saints and Bucks.
Wonderful game. It's unfortunate that it had to go down the way it was, but this is kind of something we've been seeing all year. Drew Brees has slowly been declining throughout, and it looks exactly like Peyton Manning's final year, besides the fact that Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, their arm strength, their just release, their delivery, whatever you want to call it, is not there right now. And if I'm the Saints, I'm worried going forward. I mean, you could be without Drew Brees next year. I don't see Michael Thomas coming back. I don't see Emmanuel Sanders coming back. Who do you have left in that offense? Alvin Kamara, you going to run it through? You going to put Taysom Hill out wide? What are you going to do? Like, it's... Yeah. I mean, there's talks of them pursuing Deshaun Watson. I'm just going way off track, but talks of them pursuing Deshaun Watson, that's not going to fix it, guys.
Yeah, no,
you need a lot more help than a quarterback. I mean, But it just, Drew Brees, after having one of those careers, you hate seeing someone go out the way that they did with a 3-interception performance. I believe it was his first ever 3-interception postseason performance, which is just, with him, I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, I mean, even Tom Brady. I mean, like you said, you weren't watching the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, that was the other one. But you streamed this game, didn't you?
No, I didn't stream this one. I just streamed the Ravens Bills.
Anyway, this game, I don't know if you ended up watching this, but this one was Tom Brady. I'm not going to say he looked as bad as Drew Brees because he didn't throw interceptions, but there was 2 of them that I can remember that he got away with. One of them, the defender actually caught and missed his second toe tap, or that ball would be going the other way, and we'd be talking a completely different game here.
Well, I'm
gonna say it out right now. Absolute douchebag move by Tom Brady, trying to high five an official after a touchdown. That's just not something that you do in the game. It's just, I don't know, in my opinion, just an unspoken rule. I don't like that move. But that's just, I guess, goes back to my Tom Brady days. And this kind of reminds me of when Tom Brady first got into the league. He was carried by his defense. That's exactly what happened here. Tampa looked really good on defense, like really good, and they got after Drew Brees, made him make some quick throws that he wasn't ready to make, and caused him to be off target. I mean, this is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, and caused him to be off target enough to throw 3 picks. And neither quarterback are exactly lighting things up, but this one, the quarterback that played the best, and defense stood up for him behind it. So,
well, I mean, you look at Brady, and Brady went 18-33.
Yeah,
like that ain't great. He went
good game, Tom.
Yeah, that isn't great. I mean, it's just, and like we've been talking about Drew Brees all season. It's been sad having to talk about Drew the way we have all season, but they had to put Jameis Winston in to throw a trick play that was supposed to go deep.
Yeah, they did.
Because you can't do it with Drew Brees. Drew Brees physically couldn't do that. Like that, like, and yeah, it's like we talked about.
Not only is Michael Thomas not going to come back, that was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen in his career.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't even just like they couldn't get him the ball. He was dropping passes. I think he only had 4 targets, but he was held without a catch.
Let me take a look.
That's last year's number 1.
Yeah, 4 catches, 4 receptions, or 4 targets. Sorry.
Yeah, last year's number 1 targeted person.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like one of the. I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't remember which one it is. One of the defenders for the Buccaneers, they asked him about Michael Thomas, and he said, "Who? Slanty boy?"
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. Because it was just like it's like they took him out. They took out the best, like arguably the best receiver in the game when he's healthy. Like, but yeah, no. Brees' last game. From what we're all thinking, what everyone's saying, it just seems like it's his last game. He hasn't made an official announcement yet, but writing kind of seems to be on the wall. So we will see. But that's the end of looking at the divisional round. Now, if we look at total picks, this is where shit gets interesting. Scratchy has a 167-99 lead with a +9 pick rate, with a +9 lock grade. I have a 164-102 lead with a +7, and Fedge, don't call it a comeback, is a 154-111 with a +3. So going down the line, me and Fedge were just talking about it. I have to get every pick right, and Rob has to get every pick wrong, and then I win.
Plus your locks.
Yes, plus the locks. So, this one I think will probably be a short one. COVID in the NFL. COVID NFL. COVID-19 in the NFL.
I'm just going to broaden a little bit here. I'm just going to talk about COVID as well as just injuries.
Yep.
Things happened here. Starting off with the Bucs. We have Jason Pierre-Paul, who did not practice. Has not practiced yet. Antonio Brown also sat out. He did undergo an MRI this week. It said no major structural damage, but we are yet to see that. But on a positive note for them, they did have full participation from Evans, Godwin, Ronald Jones, Murphy Bunting, which is a cornerback, Jordan Whitehead, and their offensive guard, Marpet, which is good for them, huge for them. But it's still concerning with two of their players, one on each side of the ball. Antonio Brown, if he can't go, I mean, that's could cause issues, and I can go into that in a second. And obviously without Jason Pierre-Paul, even with his 1.5 hands, is still dominant force. But on the other side, we have Mason Crosby with the Packers. Also Kinsley Kiki. Sorry for people out there thinking it was Cootie. He did make the playoffs, but that's besides the point. Alan Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, Zadarius Smith, Equanimus St. Brown, Rick Wagner, Jamal Williams, all were limited this week so far. They did get a full participation out of safety Will Redmond, though, so that is good moving forward. The Bills-Chiefs, we have Verdon Butler and Gabe Davis both missed practice. Stephon Diggs was limited. He's been dealing with the same oblique injury, as well as Quentin Jefferson. Big thing for the Bills, which I'm surprised with, is Darryl Johnson, Tremaine Edmonds, and the biggest one of all, Cole Beasley, were not listed on the injury report at all.
Ooh.
So I was surprised with that. But, I mean, Beasley looked to be struggling last game, but that's another side of things. Big news for Chiefs. Mahomes was able to practice in limited fashion today, but still remains in concussion protocol. I did just want to bring light to the fact that the average length of being in concussion protocol for a quarterback is 7 days in the NFL. It is interesting that some people say he didn't have a concussion, some people he did, whatever, I don't know. Bottom line is he's still in concussion protocol. He's got to get out of that before he can play either way. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was able to practice, which is crazy, coming off that nasty ankle/hip injury that he suffered, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago now, which is signs, I guess, pointing to him being able to play this weekend, which is big news for that running game. Sammy Watkins was limited, getting him back on the field a little bit, and then Brashard Breeland also was limited. So overall, not too bad for the AFC side as far as injuries go. A lot of limited participants on the NFC side, and honestly, no news at all for COVID of teams that are left.
Well, that's kind of wild.
So
to think about, but I mean that's good. That's good news. So now, speaking of teams. That's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Just two. It's just 2 teams. two matchups. That's
4 teams. I would say 4 teams, 2 teams. Or 4 teams, 2 matchups.
Again, all of our words are mixed up. So as you guys all have realized now, Scratchy isn't here. So it's just me and Fedge. So we will be telling what Scratchy says. And like I said, I
Wrong
have
about
to
no.
I have to pick against him no matter what. So I'm going to say this right now. I'm just going to pick against him. Whatever he picks, I'm going to pick against. It's that simple. Don't care if I agree with it or not. I'm picking against it. So to start off, we have Tampa Bay at the Green Bay Packers. Scratchy is going Buccaneers. Thank God, because I'm going Packers.
I am also going with the Green Bay Packers. You like that little pause there? I thought I did a pretty good job introducing that.
I did like that.
Yes, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers as well. You want to go first? You want me to go first? What we got?
My thing is just first off, like we said, Tom has looked okay. He hasn't looked great. I think this is going to be one of the better defenses that he goes against. Definitely going to be putting a lot more pressure, I feel like, on him than the Saints would be able to. The other thing as well is, like we just said, the Packers just put up over 30 points on the number one defense in the NFL. And now you're going against the Buccaneers defense. Now, the interesting thing about that is that Aaron Rodgers has a very bad record against, and this is interesting, Levante David and Ndamukong Suh. And they're both on that fucking team. So that's
a random stat.
It is, right? I randomly saw it when I was going when I was looking at stuff because they're both Nebraska boys, so it was one with a Nebraska thing that I follow. My biggest thing is that like I don't know back when they played because they played in October. I don't know if the Pack were at full strength.
Both of these, quick thought. Rob said this. Both of these are Week 6 rematches.
True.
Throw that out there.
So the last time they played, the Bucs won 38-10. I don't know if the Pack were hurt or what was going on then. But what I do know, though, is that when people have been saying, like, oh, the Pack need to get another weapon, Alan Lazard and I'm going to fuck this guy's name up. I'm already fucking it up.
Valdez-Scantling.
There we go. Valdez-Scantling. I was telling you guys all to shut the fuck up because those guys are good receivers, and it's showing when they have the 9th best passing attack in the NFL. Or is that pass defense in the NFL? This NFL website really doesn't do you any. It just says passing, so I don't know. Either way, they're showing that fuck you guys. We have receivers. We are the receivers, sort of thing. And they're doing a good job. I think that the Pack are going to. I'm not going to say fly away with this one, but I feel like that they will get themselves a good enough lead so that they can comfortably feel safe. One last thing I will say is that Aaron Rodgers has a 1 touchdown, 1-3 record. Not 1 touchdown, sorry. 1-3 record with 6 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 4 career NFC Championship games. However, they're all on the road. This is the first time ever that Aaron Rodgers has had a playoff game, a conference game at home.
Crazy to think about. Yeah. No, I agree with you. This is going to come down to Tampa's defense, see if they're going to be able to slow down the offense of Green Bay. I mean, Rodgers has been one of the hottest arms in football right now. Can't seem to be slowed down, which is why, like we said earlier, he's going to win the MVP. He easily, and I'm going to say easily, dispatched the Rams defense last week. Like Colin was saying, it's the number 1 defense in the league. And it's finally starting to get help elsewhere. It's not just Devontae Adams with his 16 touchdowns or whatever he had this year. Yeah, I mean Scanling's helping out. They got Robert Tonyan helping out at the tight end position. St. Brown's coming and working a little bit. Lazard looks finally healthy, and then he's getting some help out of the backfield. You got A.J. Dillon doing his thing, Jamal Williams, and obviously Aaron Jones. My big key here, though, is obviously it's a lot easier to run an offense, as we've been saying, with a good run game. Mm-hmm. Tampa has one of the best run defenses in the league. Are they going to be able to slow Rodgers down enough to make a difference? This game is going to be talked up. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. No, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers versus Tampa's defense. Yes. That's what it's going to come down to. And they're going to have to put up a performance kind of like the Ravens did against the Bills. If they get over 21 points, I don't see Tampa being able to play up with them. Yeah. And that comes down strictly to, like I said, the health like I was talking about earlier, the health of Antonio Brown. That knee injury looked serious last week. They say there's no serious structural damage, but we'll see how full go he can go. Because if Mike Evans is left on the outside with Jair Alexander, you are going to be in for a long day. Mike Evans will be limited with Jair Alexander across from him. Will Godwin be enough? Will old man Gronk be enough? Will they be able to run the ball? The Pack have been susceptible to giving up run yards this year. Will Ronald Jones, will Leonard Fournette be able to run the ball on these guys? It's there's other storylines. The only one that's gonna be talked about is Brady versus Rodgers. It's just that's what's gonna happen. But it's got other things to consider. I don't think Tampa's gonna be able to slow down Rodgers. Like I said, Jair Alexander is gonna single-handedly shut down whoever he wants to. I don't care who he's lining up. Maybe they keep him on half the field and just let him pick and choose. But last week when he was targeted in his direction, the receivers were held to -3 yards. -3 yards. Jalen Ramsey wants to do all the talk he wants to do, but Jair Alexander was the better cornerback and is the better cornerback going forward.
I mean, it's one of those things. So. We'll really quickly touching on that. Jalen Ramsey can talk all the shit that he wants about him. He's a good/great corner, but when the other corner across from you is getting their ass torn apart because you're the man.
Yep.
You're still lost.
Yeah.
So Rob.
Yeah, I mean, even you could see him freaking out on the sidelines and just whatever. It's just
watching
he's
him,
got to realize that it's not just that. I mean, you gotta be able to communicate with your team.
Watching him freak out because the Pack had that beautiful fucking play design of motioning Devontae Adams over, then back, and then immediately just turning running a little bit of a pick that wasn't a pick at all. Actually, really, just running it. You see Rodgers get it, and he doesn't even grab lace. He gets it, turns, and as he's turning, he's throwing it. I don't know how the fuck he threw it the way he did, but watching the way that
it's Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly, but watching the way Jalen Ramsey reacted to that was one of the greatest fucking things I've seen in a long time, because it was he immediately turns and is yelling at everyone else because he fucked up. And that's who Jalen Ramsey is.
That's who he is.
So the Rob Scratchy locked up the Buccaneers. So because I said I'm going opposite of him, I'm locking up the Pack.
There we go.
I'm gonna lock it up right now.
I like it.
All right. So Bills at Chiefs. So this one, I just sent him a message because I honestly am not gonna go back because I don't remember which video it was in either. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Never mind. It's been answered. Scratchy's picking the Bills. I think the Bills will win, but I'm picking Chiefs.
Because I have to. I am also picking the Bills. So, Colin, I'm going to let you go first. Why are the Chiefs going to win this game, bud?
The Chiefs are going to win this game simply because I need them to. All right, over to you, Jeff.
Them too. Oh man.
No, okay. So let me do this. Let me actually make it a point for this. Jesus Christ.
Let me talk. We'll come back to you. Either way, this is gonna be a good game. The big talks about thing here, which is awesome. Good for him. I've always loved Andy Reid. Great coach, brilliant mind. Third straight time hosting an AFC Championship game. We were just talking about how Aaron Rodgers has never hosted an AFC Championship game. And here you have Andy Reid doing it 3 times. So therefore, Patrick Mahomes doing it 3 times in his career already. And also, as Colin's about to say, he's the only other person to do it again.
The biggest of balls on him.
He
did it with Philly.
This man just wins wherever he goes. I still don't think the Eagles should have let him go. It obviously worked out for them. They won their Super Bowl. Their city's happy. Whatever. Now they don't have a quarterback. Whatever. Don't have a freaking coach now. Whatever. They gotta do what they gotta do. This man's brilliant. But anyway, we're going to talk about it here. Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, we talked about it already. They find ways to shut down your team, okay? Find ways to shut down your team. The Bills, which a lot of people don't realize, kind of changed up their defense this year. Yes, they brought the same people in, all this, but they wanted to switch to beat who? They wanted to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, that was like the people. That was like the team they had to beat. So instead of being that big physical defense up front, their speed and like Colin was saying, get behind the line, create havoc. That's what you got to do. Jerry Hughes probably played one of the best games I've ever seen him play.
The amount of times that I was saying his name was fucking annoying me.
Oh my goodness! Just not always getting to the quarterback, but he's causing disruptions back there, and that's what they're doing. The Bills, Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, they want to shut down whoever they want to shut down. This is going back to Bill Belichick, and they're going to do it. First time they played, they decided we're not going to give up big plays. Guess what they did? Sat back and let it happen. What'd they do? They allowed him to run the ball. I think the Bills, going back to they gave up the running yards. Yeah, I think they gave up 200 and some odd, whatever it was, something stupid. But anyway, I am going to chalk that up. Yes, they had full-time resting. They had all this, that. They lost 3 games this year, okay, guys? 2 of them were rescheduled by COVID. 2 of them, okay? First one against the Titans was moved to, a Tuesday night game.
Yeah, something like that.
Second one against the Chiefs, a 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, ended up being Monday game. Just weird times, just something no one's ever prepared for. Doesn't really give them a reason to lose, but that happened. Third game they lost. Anyone? A Hail Mary. This team lost 2 COVID reschedules and a Hail Mary, and they're still not giving enough credit to this team.
Well,
this team is different. The team, like I said before, this defense, they were without Levi Wallace. Josh Norman was in, but he was coming off an injury. His first action all year was the week before against the Titans. He was still, getting used to it, getting back into the swing of things. Now we have him playing well. Matt Milano was not there. Tremaine Edmonds was not full health with a shoulder injury. You can see him not driving. I mean, we've all talked about this a lot. Not driving his legs through. Got to keep it going. Got to deliver the hit. And then even on the offensive side of the ball, with injuries over there, you had Josh Allen playing with his second game, I believe it was, non-throwing, but still with a shoulder injury. Does affect you. Does affect your play style. And what people aren't even talking about is the Bills throughout the regular season as a whole had more points. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I really believe so. And it's going to be coming down whose defense can make a play. And with the defense the Bills have been putting out there, they become opportunistic with the way they've been playing, i.e. last week's interception return against Lamar Jackson, against the Steelers. Same thing, Taron Johnson, pick 6 at the end of the first half. They're opportunistic defense, and they take away that, and big times in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to play a lot better than they did on offense last week against the Ravens, but the Chiefs are nowhere near the defense as the Ravens are either. I could see this game going either way, but I like the Bills. Just obviously I'm a Bills fan, but I like the Bills with what they're doing. The defense is going to be the difference in the game. I think Sean McDermott is going to find a way. And you want to see Mahomes, you want to. And if it doesn't, you got to prepare for Chad Henne. And this could end up being hurtful to the Bills. I mean, you got to prepare for 2 quarterbers. That sucks.
Yep.
That sucks.
And to do 2 drastically different quarterbacks as well.
Yeah,
it's not just
exactly. It's not like the Huntley and Lamar show where they. I mean, I didn't even realize how closely they were to the same quarterback. I mean,
it's a little bit scary. Yeah.
It is scary. I mean, I'd put them both out on the field at the same time. Get rid of Mark Ingram. Get rid of J.K. Dobbins. Put them out there, dude. Run the read option with those 2.
Well, I mean,
Are you kidding me?
I mean, shit. I mean, we just let rid of Ingram and RG3. So, I mean, like I said, I've already got my wish. So.
Yeah, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Let's go.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. This is one of the other things that I will say while you were saying that. For the Bills, if you look at what the Bills have had to go through to get to this point right now, right, as you were saying, kind of crazy. But now you look at it, now I'm going to take it another step forward. Week 1 of the playoffs, you play Indianapolis, which we've argued is one of the underrated, one of the better defenses in the entire NFL, with a very underrated offensive attack, right? Beat them. Struggle of a fucking game. Beat them. Then you go and you play Baltimore. Baltimore, one of the most aggressive, random, chaotic defenses you're going to see, with one of the strongest running attacks you're going to see. Beat them in a fucking struggle game. Now you're going to Kansas City, whose defense isn't even close to that. The Bills' offense is going to light up this defense. The Chiefs' last 8 wins have been by 6 points or fewer. Last 8 wins. It's the longest such streak in the NFL, which is a weird streak to keep.
That That's almost as bad as the Chargers losing by
Yeah,
one
right.
game, one score
That-
games
yeah.
going down the stretch.
The Chiefs have scored 22 or fewer points in 3 straight games, including playoffs. I'm just reading off the little stats here that the NFL thing says here. Travis Kelce has fewer than 70 receiving yards in each of the 4 career games against Buffalo. So Buffalo is taking away, arguably, in my opinion, the best target on that team. Because I will always say Kelce is a better target than Tyreek Hill. And like we were saying earlier, this is the first time in NFL history that the Chiefs are the first team in NFL history to host 3 straight AFC Championship games. So just to play stupid devil advocates, it's Chad fucking Henne. It's Chad fucking Henne. You don't know who he is. They don't know who he is. No one knows who he is. Why? Because he's Chad fucking Henne. He's the old man. He's the one that you don't want to come out on the field. Why? Because he's seen it fucking all. He knows it all. You come up, he lines up, he goes, you're running cover 3. I can see it right there. You don't see it. I see it, but they don't see it. Chad Henne's going to take the Chiefs to win this game and get me to win this season.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh my goodness! Come on, that's horrible.
I mean, come on, you have to. I'd say something.
Obviously,
we all want to see Mahomes. I agree with Brett Favre. Brett Favre has made some very strong statements recently about this, and about how no matter what, the NFL is going to be looked at very differently
under a microscope. I mean, it's going to be.
There we go.
This move is going to be criticized no matter which way it goes.
When you have did you guys say it was Chris Collinsworth? Who said the stupid bullshit about moving the game? Colin Coward, yeah. Colin, even stupider. Colin Coward saying to move the fucking game. Shut the fuck up. This is what football is. If your star player gets hurt, you fucking play anyway, because that's what the fucking team is. It's not one player, it's a fucking team. God, people like him.
I'm going to go back to the Bills. That's what I got to love about this Bills team, dude. In years past, as a Bills fan, you just wait for him to crack under that pressure. You just wait for it to happen. You're just like, this is going to happen. It's just, when the the Colts had the last chance at the end, I was telling Josh about this. I'm like, I was just waiting for some Music City Miracles shit to come down here. I was like, they're just going to launch it into the end zone. Yeah, they had old man Phillip Rivers. Didn't even make it to the end zone. But I'm like, you were just waiting for something to happen. You're like, oh, here we go again. When the fumble that should have been called, that should have ended the game right there by the defense. Nope. Refs wanted to give him another shot. You were waiting for it to drop. But I just want to see a statement win, guys. Mm-hmm. The last time the Bills were in the AFC Championship, they played the Kansas City Chiefs. 1993, they played the Kansas City Chiefs. I want the same result as that game against Kansas City. I want the Bills to go in. I want them to dominate this game. I want them to show the NFL that they're for real. Mahomes, I don't care. Make a statement, win. Show them that you're going forward, and you're going to take things seriously now. Come on. Just want things to happen. I'm not asking for much.
Not asking for much.
No, yeah. I'm not.
So are you locking the Bills?
I am locking the Buffalo Bills, guys.
Locking the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, no, I think I in all seriousness, I think this is gonna be a really good game. It's gonna be interesting, but I do honestly, wholeheartedly believe that you guys will be able to dominate physically at the receiver position against the Bills, against the Chiefs. Jesus. I do believe that wholeheartedly.
I'm hoping, man.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of it. Well, scratchy here.
That is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen.
Because we can't talk about anything that's happened so far this offseason, because that comes up next week.
Nothing's happened. It's not even a real thing.
Yeah. This is all a dream.
Off-season.
There's no podcast. This is just all a part of your figment of your imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not even really here.
Yeah. We're not even real people. All right. So, thank you everybody for stopping by. hanging out. Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you as always for stopping by. And here's a little something that a lot of people out there probably don't know. Fedge is the longest running guest on the podcast by like a good amount. like a good amount. I don't know the number, but it's a good amount. Like it's over half of the podcast he's probably been involved in now.
You are welcome, guys. I come back for you all, especially you, John. Especially you.
Any Johns out there that are listening right now, just for you.
Any Johns that are listening, I'm here for it. Long John, Super John, I don't care. Little John, all the Johns.
So depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye!